What if the person who pulled you over became the reason you never drove home? Jenna Moore's hands tightened on the steering wheel as red and blue lights reflected across her dashboard. The rural highway stretched endlessly ahead, empty except for the glint of Officer Travis Benton's patrol car in the rearview mirror. A gentle fog rolled over the asphalt, swallowing the tail lights in a soft, eerie haze. She had followed every rule, every signal. And yet, as she slowed, her stomach knotted with a sense she couldn't shake. Something about this stop felt wrong. The officer stepped forward, flashlight cutting through the mist. "Officer Travis Benton. Main suspect?" "Evening, ma'am. Do you know how fast you were going?" he asked, voice calm, too measured. Jenna's pulse quickened. She hadn't been speeding. Not really. Not enough to warrant a stop. But the fog muffled the world, made every shadow seem alive, made the sound of her own breathing thunder in her ears. She handed over her license, hands shaking, a tiny bead of sweat sliding down her temple. The officer studied it, then glanced at her eyes. Something in the way he lingered made her chest tighten. Why did the air around the car feel heavier, like the fog was holding its breath? The patrol car's dashboard light flickered faintly. Jenna tried to steady her thoughts, replaying every traffic rule she'd learned, every defensive driving tip she'd memorized. He asked for insurance papers she had tucked neatly in her glove compartment. She opened it slowly. The papers were fine, perfect, nothing wrong. And yet, the officer's gaze wasn't on the documents. It was on her, long, searching, deliberate. The road behind her remained dark. No other cars. Just silence. Jenna's mind raced. Was this standard procedure? Or something else? Something personal? Something predatory? She didn't know. And at that moment, every instinct she'd ever had screamed, "Don't trust the calm." Witness or silent observer. The fog thickened. The headlights glowed dimly in the mist. Jenna's foot hovered over the brake, ready to move. But moving could make it worse. And that's when the first, faintest crack of doubt slithered into her chest. What if every familiar road you've traveled suddenly felt like a trap? Jenna's hands still trembled on the wheel as she glanced at the empty highway stretching into the fog. The orange glow of a distant street lamp flickered through the mist. Her pulse raced, normal roads, familiar turns now alien and threatening. She had driven this route hundreds of times. Tonight, it felt like the asphalt itself was closing in, every shadow whispering danger. Her phone buzzed softly in her lap. Missed call, Marcus Elwood. Jenna considered answering, but instinct told her, stay focused. She was close to home, only 10 minutes away. The fog thickened. A lone tree loomed near the shoulder, twisted in a way that made the shadows stretch like fingers. Jenna's breath hitched. She remembered the advice her brother had given that morning. Trust your gut, always. And her gut screamed. Something wasn't right. Every sound of the patrol car, the soft hum of the engine, the shuffle of boots on gravel, seemed magnified, invasive. She had obeyed the law. She had followed the rules. And yet, the calmness in the officer's eyes felt like a predator hiding behind civility. Jenna Moore alone or not? A gust of wind rattled the windshield. She exhaled sharply. Should she roll down the window, speak, or stay silent and hope this passes? The lights of the patrol car seemed to drift closer, though the distance hadn't changed. Her heartbeat thumped so loudly, it was deafening. And just like that, one choice, one word, one movement could change everything. What if the person who pulled you over wasn't enforcing the law, but setting the stage for something far darker? Jenna's pulse raced as the patrol car edged closer behind her, fog curling around its headlights. The dashboard reflected in her eyes, a pale, ghostly glow. Her knuckles whitened on the wheel, instinct screaming that this was no ordinary stop. The rules she lived by suddenly felt meaningless. Every familiar habit, every cautious maneuver, now seemed like a mistake that could cost her everything. The officer approached again, flashlight sweeping over her hands. Officer Travis Benton, watch closely. Step out of the vehicle, ma'am, he said calmly. Too calm. Jenna hesitated. Her instincts bristled. Something about the fog, the isolation, the way he lingered, it didn't feel lawful. She looked around. No other cars. No witnesses. Just empty highway and creeping mist. Her mind raced. She had followed every traffic law, every defensive tip. And yet, she felt cornered. Every footstep on the asphalt, every shuffle of the officer's boots, felt like a countdown. Her stomach twisted with a growing certainty. She wasn't just being stopped. She was being tested. One wrong move could cost everything. The officer glanced down at her registration, then up at her eyes, calm, piercing, almost casual. And that was when Jenna realized. The trap wasn't in the car, or the road, or even the fog. It was in the choice she was about to make. Her breath hitched. Every instinct screamed run, yet every rule told her obey. And obeying? That might be the mistake she'd never come back from. What would you do if obeying the law might put you in more danger than breaking it? Jenna's eyes flicked to the fog-shrouded trees lining the highway. Her fingers tightened on the steering wheel. The patrol car's lights glowed behind her. Steady, patient, almost too patient. Every second stretched longer. Every breath felt heavier. She could almost hear her heartbeat echoing off the empty road. She rolled down the window a fraction, just enough to speak without giving control. "Everything okay, ma'am?" the officer asked, voice low, measured. Jenna nodded, trying to mask the tremor in her hands. Her instincts screamed otherwise. She glanced at the rearview mirror. The fog distorted the light, twisting it into shapes that weren't there, or maybe were. Her mind raced through every scenario she had prepared for. Every safety tip, every defensive tactic, suddenly they all felt inadequate. She knew one wrong word, one misstep, could turn the calm patrol into a cage. And yet, moving without hesitation could spark a chase she couldn't win. Do you step out, or stay in? Jenna took a breath, weighing obedience against instinct. The fog seemed thicker now, almost tactile, pressing against her skin, her thoughts, her decision-making. And then, the officer's gaze lingered just a second too long, just a second that made her gut twist. In that stretch of empty highway, Jenna realized fear wasn't in what she saw. It was in what she felt. And what she felt told her. The trap was already closing. What if a single decision could decide whether you walk away or disappear forever? Jenna's hand hovered over the door handle, every muscle tense. The fog swallowed the road ahead. Behind her, the patrol car's lights pulsed steadily, a silent heartbeat keeping time with her own. Her chest tightened. Her mind raced. Every rule she'd learned felt meaningless against the instinct screaming. Don't trust him. She pressed the lock button. Step out or stay. The officer knocked lightly on the window. Ma'am, step out slowly. Jenna froze. Her eyes darted to the rear view, to the empty highway, to the fog-shrouded tree line. A bead of sweat slid down her temple. The silence between the words felt like hours. She took a slow breath, trying to steady it, but instinct screamed louder than reason. She knew this wasn't routine. Her mind flashed through every news story she'd seen about traffic stops gone wrong. Every "stay calm" tip now felt like a trap set in print. The fog hides more than the road. Jenna shifted slightly in her seat, almost imperceptibly, preparing for the moment she might need to act. And then, the officer's hand moved toward his belt. Just a fraction of a second, yet it was enough. Her stomach dropped. Every rational thought fled. The decision she made next would echo far beyond this stretch of foggy highway. What happens when a routine stop turns into something you can't escape? Jenna's hands trembled over the steering wheel. The fog wrapped the car in a gray shroud, hiding everything except the patrol lights behind her. Her reflection in the rear view blurred, a stranger staring back. Every second felt magnified. Her pulse slammed against her ribs. The ordinary night she expected had slipped into something unrecognizable, dangerous. The officer tapped on the driver's side window. Jenna's grip tightened, every instinct screaming to move. Yet every instinct told her to wait. A car horn sounded from a distance, sharp against the quiet fog. Her eyes darted to the empty lanes, searching for a way out. Heart racing, her phone buzzed on the passenger seat. She ignored it. Every notification felt like a trap. The officer's stance had shifted, subtle but unmistakable. His gaze lingered too long. Her gut twisted. She realized she wasn't just being questioned. She was being tested. The fog thickened. Her tires whispered on the asphalt. A shadow moved in the distance, just beyond the light. Not human, but enough to make her flinch. Jenna exhaled slowly, trying to steady the rising panic. But deep down, she knew the escalation had only just begun. Every choice from here on would be a gamble, one she might not survive. What if the person you trusted to protect the law became the reason you almost didn't survive? Jenna's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. The fog swirled around the patrol lights like a living thing. Every shadow seemed to stretch toward her, whispering danger. Her breath came in shallow gasps. Her chest ached from fear. She realized the choice she made minutes ago to act or stay had brought her to the edge of survival. The officer's hand reached for the radio, a signal she knew, but not the one for backup. Trust or fight? Jenna's eyes darted to the passenger side, calculating every escape route. Then, a distant siren pierced the night. Backup arrives. Time is running out. Her decision was instantaneous. The door clicked open. She slipped into the fog, running toward the faint glow of another set of headlights. Every footfall echoed like a heartbeat in her chest. The officer's voice called out, but the words were swallowed by the night. Fear and adrenaline sharpened her senses. Every instinct, every lesson from survival guides, every quiet preparation she'd ever made collided into a single focused moment. She spotted the patrol backup pulling up, lights cutting through the mist. The dangerous officer froze, his confidence evaporating. The investigation revealed the officer had falsified reports. His patrol history, his accounts of routine stops, all lies to cover a series of similar traps. Jenna's quick thinking, calm under pressure, and instinctive action saved her life. The rogue officer was arrested within hours. Jenna leaned against the patrol car, shaking but alive. The night that had felt endless finally ended with relief. Justice had been served, not just by law, but by her courage. The fog lifted. The highway was silent. She had survived. The trap had failed. And the world remembered her name. For stories that expose the truth, honor courage, and reveal the darkness we must confront. Subscribe to the Veil of Secret, because every voice matters, and justice deserves to be seen.